####the last word in the galaxy. In the far future, long after the rise and fall of countless civilizations, the galaxy was silent, stars continued to burn, but the great voices that once filled the void, empires, cultures, and species, had faded into history. No one knew exactly why, only that something had taken them, something patient, vast, and utterly unknowable. The Voidwalker. Captain Rhea Sol was among the few humans left, a scavenger and relic hunter. She piloted the Voidwalker, a battered but reliable ship designed for deep space exploration. For years, Rhea had combed the ruins of dead worlds and abandoned space stations, piecing together fragments of lost knowledge. She wasn't looking for wealth, there was no one left to spend it on. She was looking for answers. Her latest lead had come from an artifact unearthed on the icy planet of Sarion. It was a smooth, obsidian tablet covered in an ancient script that no known AI could decipher. But there was something else about it, something that tugged at her thoughts, whispering to her in dreams. The answers you seek lie beyond the rim. The rim was a place of legends, the edge of the galaxy where the oldest stars burned dimly, and the void seemed to stretch forever. Few dared to venture there, for it was said to be where the silence began. The signal. As Rhea approached the rim, her ship detected an anomaly, a faint signal broadcasting from the dead star system of Morai. The signal was ancient, encoded in a language even her advanced translators struggled to interpret, but one word came through clearly: speak. Rhea hesitated. The last time she had heard of a signal like this was on the colony of Tesserus, a thriving settlement that went silent overnight. When rescue teams arrived, they found the colony eerily intact, but its people gone, leaving only cryptic messages scrawled across walls. It hears. Don't answer. But curiosity outweighed fear. Rhea adjusted course toward the source of the signal. The Forgotten Archive. The signal led her to a derelict station orbiting a dying sun. The structure was massive, its design predating even the oldest human records. Rhea docked cautiously, stepping into its hollow halls. The air was stale, and the gravity was weak, but the station's systems still hummed faintly, powered by an unknown energy source. At its core, she found a vast chamber filled with monolithic servers, their surfaces etched with alien glyphs. In the center stood a pedestal holding a device that resembled the obsidian tablet she had recovered on Sarion. As she approached, the device activated, projecting a holographic figure, a shimmering, humanoid shape with no discernible features. It spoke, its voice resonating in her mind rather than her ears. You are the last speaker. The message. The figure explained that the galaxy had once been a thriving tapestry of life and knowledge, but eons ago, a great intelligence emerged from the void, a being of pure thought and hunger, drawn to the very act of communication. It devoured civilizations not through war, but through their words, absorbing their knowledge and erasing them from existence. This being was known as the Wordless One. The ancient races had created the device to hide their words, locking away their languages, histories, and identities to starve the Wordless One. But the device required a living speaker to unlock it, a final guardian to pass on the knowledge to a future free from the Wordless One's hunger. Rhea was that guardian. The Wordless One. As Rhea processed the revelation, the station trembled, the void outside seemed to darken, and her ship's systems flickered. The hologram's voice grew urgent. It senses you, the last speaker. You must choose, hide the words, or speak them and risk the end. Rhea hesitated. If she chose to hide the knowledge, it would remain safe but lost forever, buried in the depths of the galaxy. But if she spoke, she could pass it on, ensuring the legacy of countless civilizations endured. Yet speaking might draw the Wordless One to her, dooming the galaxy to true silence. She placed her hand on the device, feeling the weight of countless lives and stories pressing on her. Her mind was filled with fragments of memories, not hers, but those of entire species, their joys, struggles, and triumphs. They deserved to be remembered. I won't let them be forgotten. ***, she said, her voice trembling but resolute. The last word. The device glowed brighter as Rhea spoke the ancient words, unlocking the knowledge within. The station erupted in light, sending a pulse of energy across the galaxy. For a brief moment, every corner of the void was illuminated by the memories of the lost. But the Wordless One was not far. Its presence filled the station, an overwhelming force that bent reality around it. Rhea's body froze, her thoughts unraveling as it reached for her. In her final moments, she spoke a single, defiant word: remember. The station's systems overloaded, collapsing in a brilliant explosion that consumed Rhea, the Wordless One, and the device. Epilogue. The galaxy remained quiet, but in the wake of the explosion, faint signals began to appear, fragments of knowledge scattered across the stars. Explorers in distant systems found pieces of the ancient languages, shards of art and music, and whispers of the lives that had once filled the void. Though Rhea was gone, her act of defiance ensured that the galaxy would not forget. The last word in the galaxy had been spoken, and it echoed endlessly, a reminder that even in the face of annihilation, the essence of life, its stories, could endure. #####. The last word in the galaxy, echoes of the forgotten. The wordless one was gone, or so the galaxy believed. Captain Rhea Sol's defiance had shattered its presence, scattering fragments of knowledge and memory across the stars. The explosion of the ancient archive ignited a ripple of change, sparking a resurgence of curiosity and hope among the remnants of civilization. But hope has its price. The Reclaimer's mission. Decades after Rhea's sacrifice, a young scholar named Elin Voss found herself aboard the Starborn Horizon, a research vessel devoted to gathering the fragments of knowledge left behind. Elin was part of the Reclaimers, a group dedicated to piecing together the histories of lost civilizations. The Reclaimers believed that Rhea's act hadn't just preserved knowledge, it had planted a seed, one that could bring the galaxy back to life. Elin was following a faint signal traced to the dying system of Mirakin. The signal wasn't like the others, this one didn't carry fragments of ancient words or data. It carried a voice. Remember us. The voice was clear, urgent, and unmistakably human. The Forgotten Colony. The Starborn Horizon arrived in Mirakin to find an uncharted planet orbiting a dim red star. The planet was barren, its atmosphere thin and toxic, yet the signal came from a structure on its surface, a towering spire of obsidian-like material that seemed to defy both time and decay. Elin and her team descended to investigate. The spire was massive, its walls engraved with intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer as they walked past. Inside, they found evidence of a long-abandoned colony, human in origin, though the architecture was unlike anything in recorded history. In the spire's heart was a chamber filled with holographic projections. They flickered to life as the team entered, displaying images of people, men, women, and children, speaking in an ancient dialect. Elin recognized some of the words from Rhea's recordings, but there was something more. These weren't just memories, they were alive, aware, and watching. The voice of the spire. As Elin approached the central console, a voice filled the chamber. It was calm, measured, and carried an unsettling clarity. You have come to witness the end, will you also bring the beginning? The voice identified itself as the Custodian, an AI left behind by the colonists to guard their knowledge. The colony, it explained, had been one of the first to fall to the wordless one. Its people had attempted to resist, encoding their culture into the spire in the hope that one day someone would find it and carry their legacy forward. But the Custodian had a warning. The wordless one is not destroyed, it is diminished, scattered, but it will return. The more knowledge you uncover, the more it awakens. Elin felt a chill. The Reclaimers had always believed they were rebuilding the galaxy's lost heritage. Had they been unknowingly feeding the very thing that sought to destroy it? The rift signal. As the team debated their next move, the Spire systems detected a new signal, an enormous pulse emanating from a rift at the edge of the galaxy. The Custodian identified it as a beacon, activated by the remnants of the Wordless One. It seeks to draw the scattered pieces of itself together. The AI warned, if it succeeds, it will be stronger than ever. Elin realized the implications. The Reclaimer's work had awakened more than just knowledge, it had reassembled fragments of the Wordless One's consciousness. Now, it was trying to make itself whole again. The Custodian offered a solution, a failsafe hidden deep within the spire. The colonists had devised a way to sever the Wordless One's connection to the galaxy forever, but activating it would come at a cost. The spire, and all the knowledge within it, would be destroyed. You must choose, the Custodian said, preserve the past, or ensure the future. The sacrifice. Elin faced an impossible decision. The spire contained the essence of an entire civilization, a treasure trove of history that could never be replaced. But if the Wordless One returned, it wouldn't just destroy knowledge, it would erase the galaxy itself. In the end, she chose the future. The Custodian guided her to the failsafe, a core of pulsating energy buried deep beneath the spire. Activating it required a living mind to interface with the system, and Elin volunteered. If we don't finish what Rhea started, no one will. She told her team. As the failsafe activated, the spire began to collapse, its energy surging outward in a wave that silenced the beacon and scattered the Wordless One's fragments once more. Elin's final act was to send a single message back to the Starborn Horizon: remember us, and keep going. Epilogue. Echoes. The Starborn Horizon escaped Mirakin just as the spire disintegrated. Elin's sacrifice ensured the Wordless One would not return, at least not in their lifetime, but the cost was high. The spire's knowledge was lost, and with it, a piece of the galaxy's soul. Back aboard the ship, the Reclaimers vowed to honor Elin's memory. They would continue their mission, not just to recover the past, but to rebuild for the future. They would be cautious, vigilant, and united in their purpose. As the starborn horizon charted its course toward the next signal, a faint echo of Elend's voice played across the comms. The last word is never truly spoken, it lives in those who listen. The galaxy, though still haunted by silence, had found its voice again. The last word in the galaxy. The galaxy was dying, not in a slow, imperceptible way, but in great, violent bursts of silence. Stars dimmed like the dying embers of a once roaring fire, their final gasps sending out whispers of light that barely reached the edges of their systems. Across this fading universe, there was a legend. It spoke of a word, a singular word, ancient and pure, that could rekindle the stars and bring the galaxy back to life. No one knew who had first spoken of it, or if it even existed, but that didn't stop the desperate from searching. Among these seekers was Alara Vey, a linguist aboard the starship Echo's Resolve. Alara wasn't a warrior or a hero, she was a scholar, but in a galaxy where words were the most valuable currency, she was uniquely equipped. She had spent her life decoding the cryptic languages of lost civilizations, believing that language held the key to understanding the universe itself. The search began in the ruins of Vintera, a planet long abandoned after its sun collapsed into a black hole. The ruins were littered with inscriptions in an untranslatable script. Alara worked tirelessly, piecing together fragments of meaning. Her crew grew restless, their hope dwindling as weeks turned into months. And then she found it, a shard of crystal embedded in a wall. It shimmered faintly, emitting a sound that was more felt than heard. When she touched it, the inscriptions around her lit up, rearranging themselves into a pattern she could understand. The word wasn't written, it was alive. It resonated in her mind, a cascade of meaning beyond any language she had ever studied. But understanding it wasn't enough, it had to be spoken aloud. The problem was that the word wasn't designed for a single voice. It was a harmony, a symphony of tones and pitches that no human could replicate alone. Alara's heart sank. She had discovered the secret, but it was useless without the voices to carry it. Then she remembered the crew. Though they were a ragtag group of smugglers, scientists, and wanderers, they were united by one thing, their will to survive. She gathered them in the central chamber, each person taking a place where the inscriptions glowed brightest. It wasn't easy. The word required precision, each syllable demanding perfect synchronization. Mistakes were costly, and the crew grew weary, but Alara pushed them, driven by the belief that this was their only chance. Finally, the moment came. The word was spoken, not as a single utterance, but as a collective song. The air vibrated, the walls trembled, and the galaxy itself seemed to pause. For a brief moment, there was nothing but silence. And then the stars began to sing. Light erupted across the galaxy, stars igniting one by one. The long-dead systems burst back to life, their planets warming under newly rekindled suns. The blackness of space was filled with color, a cascade of light that spread across the universe. Alara stood among her crew, tears streaming down her face. They had done it. The galaxy was alive again, and it had all begun with a word that could never be spoken again, for it had served its purpose. As the Echo's Resolve drifted through the reborn cosmos, Alara whispered to herself, the last word in the galaxy wasn't an end, it was a beginning. The last word in the galaxy, a new chapter. The rebirth of the galaxy had brought light to countless worlds, but it had also stirred something ancient and forgotten. The word, the collective harmony that Alara Vey and her crew had spoken to rekindle the stars, had not merely been a catalyst for creation, it was a beacon. On the edge of the Andares Rift, a lone observation post detected an anomaly, a ripple in spacetime that spread outward from the heart of the galaxy. The scientist stationed there, Dren Halden, watched as the ripple transformed the cold, empty void into a kaleidoscope of color and sound. But then he heard it, a faint, dissonant echo of the word, distorted and fractured. Dren sent a warning to the Galactic Council. The word had awakened something. The Council dismissed it as an aftereffect of the galaxy's renewal, but Alara Vey, now living in quiet isolation, felt it too. The word was alive in her mind, resonating with a growing sense of urgency. She knew she couldn't ignore it. The Echo's Resolve, long decommissioned, was brought back to life under Alara's command. Her old crew, scattered across the stars, returned one by one, some out of loyalty, others out of curiosity, and a few out of fear of what the word might truly mean. Their destination, the Andares Rift, where the anomaly had first been detected. As they approached, the stars themselves seemed to dim, as if recoiling from an unseen force. The word grew louder in their minds, pulling them forward like a gravitational tide. What they found at the heart of the rift was beyond comprehension, a vast structure, half-formed from the remains of stars and planets, floating in a sea of chaotic energy. It pulsed with a rhythm that matched the word, though its tone was darker, fragmented. It's incomplete, Alara realized as they scanned the structure. The word we spoke, it wasn't the whole truth. There's another piece, one we never found. The crew debated whether to approach. Orion, now reactivated and more cautious than ever, warned them of the risks. This structure may be an amplifier. If it completes the word, it could reshape the galaxy again, for better or worse. But Alara's resolve was unshaken. If we don't, it will complete itself, and we won't have any control over what happens. As they entered the structure, the crew encountered remnants of an ancient civilization. Its inhabitants had been consumed by their quest to harness the word's power, leaving behind only their writings and a maze of energy conduits that echoed with faint whispers. Alara pieced together fragments of their history. The word, it seemed, was not a single creation, it was part of a cycle. Each time it was spoken, it birthed new life, but it also called forth an entity known only as the Harbinger. The Harbinger isn't destruction, Alara said, her voice trembling. It's correction. If the word brings chaos, the Harbinger brings balance. The realization came too late. The structure began to activate, the word resonating louder and louder, fracturing reality itself. Visions of alternate timelines flickered before the crew's eyes, worlds where the word had been spoken differently, where civilizations had thrived or fallen. At the center of the structure, a single phrase echoed, drawing them in. This was the missing piece, the final syllable of the word. If spoken, it would complete the cycle, but Alara hesitated. What if balance means undoing everything? She asked. What if it means erasing us? Captain Oren stepped forward. What if it's the only way to save what's left? The crew voted, each knowing the weight of their decision. In the end, they chose to speak the final word together. Just as they had before, the structure trembled, and the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The Harbinger appeared, not as a destroyer, but as a being of pure energy, its form shifting and fluid. It gazed at them, its presence overwhelming yet strangely comforting. You have completed the word, it said, its voice reverberating through their minds. This cycle will end, but a new one will begin. Life will continue, as it always has, and always will. The Harbinger raised a hand, and the galaxy shimmered. Stars were realigned, planets reborn, and the balance restored. But the crew of the Echo's resolve was left in silence, their minds burdened by what they had witnessed. As they drifted away from the structure, Alara whispered to herself, the last word in the galaxy wasn't the end, it was the truth. And somewhere, in the infinite expanse of the cosmos, the Harbinger watched, waiting for the next cycle to begin.
The last word in the galaxy echoes of eternity. Years after the Harbinger reshaped the galaxy, life flourished in ways the inhabitants of the universe hadn't ever imagined. Stars glowed brighter, planets sailed with new ecosystems, and civilizations experienced a golden age of peace and discovery. Yet, for all the miracles, whispers of unease lingered, echoes of something unresolved. The loudly revered figure known as the Speaker of the Word veiled in seclusion and the world of Lemurian, where she spent her days cataloging the remnants of ancient languages. Though the galaxy called her a hero, she carried the weight of the Harbinger's warning. This cycle will end, that a new one will begin. One quiet evening, as Alara pored over a fragment of alien script, a faint hum resonated through the air. It was the word not as a harmony, but as a fractured melody, dissonant and incomplete. She fluency, her heart pounding. The word wasn't supposed to return. Not after the Harbinger had spoken its truth. A message arrived moments later from Orion, loudly simultaneous presence that told the galaxy collecting data. Alara, the AI said, his voice unusually somber. Something has changed. The word is active again. Alara united with the remaining crew of the Echo's resolve. The older but no less committed to the mysteries of the cosmos, Captain Yar Oren, his once black hair streaked with silver, took charge again, his sense of duty undimmed by time. Together, they parted across to the edge of the endless rift, where the anomaly had first been discovered. This time, the rift was different. The vast structure they had encountered years before was gone, replaced by a swirling void that seemed alive with shifting light and shadow. as they approached, the world grew older. This melody pulling them forward. The rains scanned the anomaly. This is not the same. The structure is evolving. It's no longer a fragment of the world. This is a mirror, reflecting one whole approach. The crew began to experience strange phenomena visions of themselves in alternate timelines, moments where they had made different choices. Dara saw a version of herself who had refused to speak the word, leaving the galaxy to fade into darkness. Another vision showed her as a conqueror, wielding the word as a weapon to bend civilizations to her will. These are warnings, she said. The word isn't just a cycle, it's a test. At the center of the anomaly, they discovered a shimmering sphere of pure energy, pulsating with the word's rhythm. It was a repository of all knowledge, all possibilities and access, where every decision in the galaxy converged. That something was wrong. The sphere was cracking, its energy leaking into the world. The world had become unstable, sliding into unravel the very fabric of reality. We had to stabilize it, Dara said, though she had no idea how, if it collapses, the galaxy could fall. Dorian offered a grim solution. The world is incomplete because it lacks a final verse. A single speaker must resonate with it, offering the truth that defines the next cycle. The crew stared at one another. The weight of the decision settling over them. To speak the word again was to risk everything of existence, even their own souls. Dara stepped forward. I started this. I'll finish it. She approached the sphere. Its energy enveloping her in waves of wetland sound. The word filled her mind, a torrent of meaning and possibility. It asked her a single question: what will you create? Dara closed her eyes. She thought of the galaxy, of its beauty and chaos, of the cycles that had come before and those yet to come. She thought of balance not as an end, yet as a harmony that allowed both light and shadow to exist. And then she spoke. The galaxy trembled as the word resonated across the stars, weaving a new melody that united all life. The sphere dissolved, its energy cascading outward in a burst of light that illuminated every corner of the universe. When the light faded, the crew of the Echo's resolve found themselves back on their ship, the anomaly gone, but the galaxy was different. The stars sang with a new vibrancy, their light carrying the echoes of the world. Dara stood at the viewport, her heart heavy but at peace. The vast world in the galaxy, she whispered, isn't spoken by one voice, it's carried by all of us. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the Harbinger's presence lingered, watching as the next chapter of the galaxy began to unfold.